defense is solid, and you saw what the Eagles could do on a basically no tackle O line with the Chargers. So
I
they
don't know what
sacked
we're doing in that front office.
Herbert what,
man.
five
Twiddling
times,
our fucking
six
dick.
times? I mean, you know, I mean,
Wide receiver trivia.
Dallas fans should be going,
Hurt.
we're looking kind of good, and the Eagles. I mean, we've said that the O line has issues, that defense has issues, and
We're starting. Here we go. Here we go.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to another Monday Night Football recap. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I am Malin Dennis.
I'm the other co-host, June Buckspade.
and like Hunter Thompson, a little taking many types of medications to be able to do this show. It is G Money.
Yes, G Money, thank you for seeing this thing through and still hopping on here to talk about this one hell of a game we had between the Eagles and the Chargers, where the Chargers won in overtime. 22-19 was the final score. This was a great game, I had to say. It was a messy game from both quarterbacks, but highly entertaining. Yeah, let's just get right into things here because we're starting a little bit behind the eight ball. But yeah, I want to start off. We'll start with G Money here. Game comes down to overtime. Nick Sirianni and the Eagles decide they're going to defer and let the Chargers take the ball first, which obviously they scored what would end up being the winning field goal. Do you agree or disagree with Sirianni's decision to give them the ball first?
I actually agree. I mean, the Eagles defense was playing well against the Chargers offense. And I felt as though he thought that they could stop the Chargers, get the ball back, and then get close enough to kick a field goal. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But no, I think that was the right choice. You defer. You feel real solid about your defense, not so much about your offense, but you definitely feel good about your defense because for the most part, you had kept the Chargers in check. So yeah, good. I don't question that decision. Maybe other decisions I might question, but that's a decision as far as deferring and then seeing what the Chargers can do. Hope you feel as though your defense can stop them, and then you can get the ball and go down and kick the winning field goal. That was the thought process. I know that was the thought process. So no, I don't think it was a bad decision.
Malin, June, I don't know do you guys agree, disagree?
No, I agree with that. I think that's a good assessment. Me, I'm one of those people that when I'm on the road, I do like getting the ball first if I'm in overtime. But in this situation, G Money is right, where the Eagles thought their defense was good enough to make that critical stop. And they just came up short. I mean, they didn't account for Herbert taking off and running the ball at all. I think because of that big run that Vidal had just had, they were so it fooled them, and they called the perfect RPO at that time. And he kept the ball at the right time, and he took it, and that really salted away the game and put the pressure back on the Eagles.
I think the main thing that I like about the idea of going into overtime and getting the ball second is depending on what the other team does, like you're in 4-down territory. You're not playing conservative. If you get to like a 4th and 3 at the 45, maybe you're gonna punt if you get the ball first. If you're at a 4th and 3, at the 45 you get the ball second. Like I just feel like knowing that you have 4 downs instead of 3 maybe opens the playbook a little bit more. And I think that's kind of the way the analytics look at it. Sometimes it's gonna work, sometimes it's not. So.
Let's go we'll start with the winning quarterback here, Justin Herbert, who was 139 yards, 1 touchdown, one pick, was sacked 7 times, still playing with that. I don't know if his hand is still broken or healing. I mean, not good. It seems like he shouldn't be playing at all, to be honest. But June, I'll start with you. What do you think about Justin Herbert's performance tonight?
I mean, it was gritty. He stood the test of time because he stood back there, and I think they lost another lineman in the game at some point. And the running game, it was hitting a little bit, but as far as Justin Herbert, he just stood there and took the hits. And I saw him grimace a couple of times after he got up off the ground. But you know what? He was not afraid to tuck that ball and run it when it counted. And he made some great plays tonight with his legs. The fumbles, it was a result. I thought they was going to put the game away. That one fumble, and then they turned it right back over. Herbert after the interception, I thought that was going to be it after the fumble that Hurts had. But I thought that he played great. He made the right moves at the right time and got his team in a position to win. He knew it was going to be a tough game. This wasn't going to be a blowout. And he knew it was going to be down. And you got to make clutch plays at clutch times, and he did. He sucked up those sacks. He took them, and he just kept fighting, and kept fighting.
Hell of a statement, dude. Shit, I have never. They won't let that air on you again. God damn. Damn sad.
It's funny because if you just read the quarterback stats before the game, I would have assumed they were flipped. Like 4 picks, 240 yards in a loss sounds like it's Justin Herbert, while 139 yards for for what Justin Herbert did at. That sounds like a Jalen Hurts, like more efficient, didn't really have to do much.
Yeah.
But Malin, what did you think of Jalen Hurts' performance?
Well, I just want to say this about Herbert just real quick. One, the skill position players on the Chargers make me nervous about the Chargers going forward because that passing offense was just dreadful. And I do like, even with a broken hand, you're wearing a special glove. That man knew in the fourth quarter the best way to win the game was for him to run the ball and sell out. And that's really something for someone that's, I don't care if it's your throwing hand. You have a broken hand. And you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take off for like 2-3 straight run plays. So kudos to him, just doing whatever he had to do to win the game. Jalen Hurts though, man. I mean, shit. I don't know if he pissed off somebody in New Orleans and Louisiana. There's a voodoo doll or something. But this is just one of the games. First of all, to be the first player in NFL history to have 2 turnovers on the same play. I don't know if that's what you want your mark on history to be. But I think that's fucking hilarious. That was just that one play alone just summed up the whole game. You throw an interception to a big boy, he fumbles the ball, Jalen Hurts picks it up, and he's doing this spin, and someone hits him, he fumbles the ball. And I don't know if that moment in his mind, I would like to go into his mind when he fumbles the ball after throwing an interception, he'd be like, "That's some bullshit," and then like just get tackled down and then they lose the ball. I mean, to have 2 turnovers in the same play, but 5 he was responsible for 5 turnovers in the whole game. Now we can do the whole Sam Darnold thing on not everyone was his fault because someone tipped it or it bounces here, it bounces there. But the simple fact of the matter is the man turned it over 5 times. And you're not, very rarely are you going to win a football game when your quarterback turns it over 5 times. Even though some of that might be team-oriented, that's a lot of turnovers to overcome. So the only bright spot that I would give to the Eagles is that, listen, man, you were playing an 8-4 team on the road, and you turned the ball over 5 times and you only lost by 3.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like when the Seahawks lost to the Rams and we lost by 2 and it was 61-yard kick that we missed, there was a lot of Seahawks fans, me included, that were like, okay, you know what? Like, we played the Rams. They're regarded as the best team in football, and we lost by 2. Yet Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions. But the Eagles. The only problem is the Eagles keep making these mistakes week in and week out, and the mistakes keep getting more and more and more. So they're in some trouble. They are in some trouble. This is very much 2023 esque Philadelphia Eagles happening right now with some turmoil down the stretch. We'll see if Sirianni can pull it together.
G Money, I'm gonna go to you next on this one. Speaking of mistakes, AJ Brown, he could have ended this game in the fourth quarter at the end there because Hurts dropped a pass right into his bucket and Brown dropped it there. But that was just one of, I felt like, a slew of mistakes that the Eagles made in that fourth quarter. What did you think about the Eagles' play in the fourth quarter?
I think it was indicative of their play for the whole game, to be honest with you. I found it interesting that they didn't run Saquon as much as they should have, especially when you looked. He had, I believe, and I don't have anything open, but going into the fourth quarter, I think he had 116 yards, a 5.7 per carry average, and a touchdown. And if you really want to hit AJ, you want to hit your wide receivers, because basically I think their top receiver was Goddard, their tight end. You do it off of play action. You make the backs and the safeties key in on your running back, and they're not keying in on your wide receivers, so you can hit them. We've said this all season. I do not understand a lot of the calls the OC is making. Don't understand them. And Mark Slurf, who was an all-pro guard for both the Redskins, when they were the Redskins, he played for the Hogs, won a Super Bowl, and he played with Denver and won a Super Bowl. He says about the running game, it's not how many yards you get, it's how many times you run the ball, because then the defense has to key in on stopping the run, and it leaves your wide receivers open. Right. Because they're now playing 1-on-1, and they're not playing zone. And if they're playing zone, you definitely know they're open. Mistakes were twofold, right? One was a lot of the OC, the play calling, and Jalen Hurts is who we thought he was. If you don't have a strong O-line and a good running game, and you can mix it up a little bit, he's going to be like he was 2022, 2021, 2020, kind of 2023 even. He's not the quarterback who's going to take you to the promised land by himself. He is part of a team, and he needs that team. This is a team fail. It's a fail on the part of the OC calling plays that when you look at them, you wonder why. It's an issue on AJ Brown not making a catch when he should have, but we've seen number one receivers during the season in key situations not make catches when they should. Drop the balls wide open and drop the balls. It's a lack of concentration. And I tell you, if I'm paying you freaking $4 million a game, I don't want to find out that there was a lack of concentration and you couldn't make it a catch. Make the damn catch. You're getting paid to make the catch.
I mean, I find myself, Jalen, kind of at a crossroads with the play calling for the Eagles, because they found a way to run the ball with Saquon 20 times and yet still get A.J. Brown 100 yards, but he had 6 catches on 13 targets. They're still trying to force feed the offense through him. And I know that Saquon had 122 yards on those 20 carries. 52 of that was on that touchdown run. which there was blatant holding that was missed on that play. But he was still averaging under 4 yards a carry. But you continue to run the ball to get those types of breakaways that Saquon gets.
Yeah.
He rushed for 2,000 yards last year because they ran the shit out of the ball. They wore defensive down, and he would break runs. So I don't know. I mean, I still think that 13 targets for AJ Brown, 10 out of Bogert, and 8 out of Smith. That's still a lot of touches for those guys for only 20 for Saquon. Those turnovers. If they didn't have the turnovers, they probably win the game.
Yeah. Philly's red zone offense really all year has been awful. And this was another instance of that. And if you go back and look at their pretty sure it was their last possession in regulation, they botched that terribly because they had the lead. AJ Brown drops a touchdown pass. Then second down comes, Devontae Smith drops a pass on that down and that stops the clock north of the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
Which so the Chargers didn't have to spend a timeout, and so then they were set up perfectly to get the ball back. And it's like, damn, if you guys could have just converted here. And the thing I really don't understand is that a common explanation we've been getting on why their offense has been so low scoring is because, well, we just want to have efficient quarterback play. Jalen Hurts is going to be efficient. Well, the man turned the ball over 5 times tonight, and they still
it was 21-40.
And it's like, and they didn't score any outside of Saquon, that 1 50-yard run. The rest was Jake Elliott scoring the ball. So it's
and
like,
that was
one.
Yep, and that was Barkley's first touchdown since week 8.
It's ridiculous.
And another thing, I want to say this. We keep talking about G Money kind of hit on it. Jalen Hurts is not that elite quarterback. He's not a guy that can drop back 40 times. This guy needs to be throwing the ball only about 20 to 25 times a game. You need to run the ball at least 30 to 35 times a game. And it don't have to all be Saquon. You're going to have to find, you went out and traded and paid a little bit of money to Tank Bigsby, right? This man barely even touches the field.
He gets like a carry a game.
And like Malin said, you had 117 yards, but 52 on one run. You didn't do anything in the run game. You did 0 in the run game. It's the same old song and dance. It's been the song and dance. And, a few weeks ago, they were 8-2, and people was talking about, they're just going to turn it on. Bullshit. They've turned it off, and it's gotten worse. Since they were 8-2, they started force-feeding A.J. Brown the ball, and the offense has gotten worse. Turnovers, and the ball, they have not ran the ball at all, like 0. And it's cost them 3 straight games.
I will say this,
the Eagles are going to have to find something. They're going to have to find something to get this team back on track, or it's going to be a quick end to their season when they hit the playoffs.
I just got to say this real quick, John. I feel like, now, June, I agree with what you're saying about Jalen Hurts, but I think you're the wrong person to say it, because when people realize that you're a Cowboys fan and you got Dak Prescott, he ain't been in the conference championship game, people are going to not believe you and just think you're a hater. So I just want to second what June is saying, is that Jalen Hurts, he's not that guy. He can have great games every now and then, and one of them happened to be in a Super Bowl loss, which really hyped up the train. But he's not that guy. He's not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I don't even know that he's top 10. And that's okay, because there's been quarterbacks that aren't top 10 in the league that win Super Bowls. Joe Flacco wasn't a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Brad Johnson.
Well, he just went on a heater in 2012 with an agent.
Bradshaw.
Like there's people that do it, and that's okay. But
Shout out
Sirianni is missing coordinator.
to the first, gotta be the first Chargers fan we've ever had in the chat. It says bolt up, AJ, the only receiver they had. Yeah, this was I think it was kind of embarrassing for them. I mean, you lost to a quarterback that was essentially playing with one hand. Like,
Right.
come on, man. What like
The leading receiver for the Chargers was Keenan Allen with 3 catches.
Mhm.
I mean, come on.
And
And
he
I
had
don't think they
20.
threw to the tight end, right? There was no tight end catches, right?
Ronnie Vidal, the running back, had 1 catch for 60 yards. That was a little screen pass.
Mm-hmm.
But outside that, you're looking at Keenan Allen, 3 for 22. Trey Harris, 1 for 18. Ladd McConkey, 1 for 12. Hampton, 2 for 11. Quentin Johnson, 2 for 8. That passing offense was non-existent in that game, and yet they still beat you.
Yeah. I will be taking the Jalen Hurts comments and clipping that. So just what's gonna happen next. Just warning you
Yeah.
guys.
The thing I'm going to say, they can make him so much better if they don't try to rely on him to win the game. You saw what happens when he tries to win the game. When he tried to win the game, you saw what happened at the end. That was a bad pass. Yeah, it was a great play by the defensive player, but he tried to squeeze a ball in to a small area on the field. That was the time you need to pull it down and run it, Jalen Hurts. That was the time that you needed to use your legs.
That's what he was. I was like, oh, he's just gonna run out of bounds, and then I'm like, oh no! As soon as he let it go, I said, oh
Nope.
fuck.
Yeah, that was a bad pass because he's not that guy to make a pass like that. And that decision making, that's something that Sirianni is going to have to talk to him about. Son, it's your decision making, because that one interception when he just basically threw it to the linebacker, what the hell was that? He threw it directly to the line. The linebacker, I don't know if you guys heard Troy Aikman say, that's one of those passes where you should have saw that linebacker, Jalen Hurts. Troy Aikman said it. He said it. You should have saw that guy. The guy was just standing there. You threw it right to him. So there's something going on with Jalen Hurts. And guess what? Guess who that pass was going to? AJ Brown.
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to force feed it to him, and that's a problem right now. That's the number one problem with this. Did you see the numbers that they posted up there about AJ Brown? He's had 3 straight 100-yard games.
Yep.
Did you see that? Guess what? Guess what the common denominator in this fucking shit is? He's lost all 3 games.
At least he was scoring touchdowns in the other 2.
He's happy.
Exactly.
And all I'm saying right now, Jalen, he's 16th in yards, he's 12th in touchdowns, and he's 19th in QBR. Like, I don't want to hear about this man being the top 10 quarterback in the NFL. So people can have their emotions.
Yeah.
But on this show, we use facts. And we use facts. And I've used those to discredit the CeeDee Lamb lovers too at times. And June has not been happy about that. But facts are facts. And he's not a top 10 quarterback right now.
No. He's not playing. He's actually not playing like one.
They didn't want to. Now, the fact that he had 2 interceptions going into this game and then throws 4, that's funny to me. But still, hey, you know what? You cannot be a top 10 quarterback because you still made NFL history with 2 turnovers on the same play. So that could be.
But he's had a lot of fumbles, right? He's had a few fumbles this season.
Yeah. He's had fumbles this year.
He's turned the ball over because he turned it over in Dallas. He turned it in Chicago. Yeah.
Now,
he's not a top 10 quarterback right now.
Gonna kind of round things out with G Money here. Eagle, obviously, they've lost 3rd consecutive game here that they've dropped. This one, I know it's weird because if this was just an isolated loss, I feel like it'd be like, whatever, bad Hurts game. But it's just the fact that this makes a streak now of 3. But they do have the Raiders coming up next. Then they've got Washington, Buffalo, and then Washington again. So, G Money, do you think they're going to continue to tailspin, or was this just the end of that?
Well, they're not going to tailspin against the Raiders. I mean, if you tailspin against the Raiders, your season's over with. You're done. Just stick a fork in your ass. And the Redskins, I'm sorry, the Commanders.
The Redskins.
They I could see them going ostensibly 3-1. I could also see them going 2-2. stumbling into the playoffs, probably winning their last, beating the Raiders, probably beating the Redskins at home, or the Commanders at home, and then losing to them, and then I could see that. I could see them going into the playoffs, but then losing in the first round. Going down to Tampa, or going to the Rams if the Rams win the West, or coming up to Seattle if we win it. I mean, you play against a team that has a solid defense and a good offense, and Tampa is getting their wide receivers and everybody back. This team is going to be like, as Malin said, the 2023 team, one and done in the playoffs. They are not the team of last year. They don't have the O-line. Their D-line isn't as good. Their DBs aren't anywhere close to being as good. So at Tailspin, no, they're not going to lose the last 4 games. I mean, if they do, then the coaching staff may be looking for new jobs, because I don't know if the owner is going to sit around and go, wait a minute, you lost to the Raiders? How the hell do you lose to the Raiders?
Right.
But I see them. Realistically, I see them going 2-2 in the last 4, stumbling into the playoffs, and losing in the first round, because they're going to go on the road. I could see Dallas actually passing them and winning the NFC East, and them being a wild card going on the road. And heaven forbid you go on the road to Green Bay. You go on the road up here, whether it be us in Seattle or you go on the road to LA. And if by chance you just happen to win the East, and then Seattle's a wild card and we go and play you, game over, bitches. Game over. You guys are not that good. And that's the truth. The Eagles are not that good.
I will say this, that I see them going, just looking at this, because I see them going 3-1. But at the same token, it would not surprise me if Mariota won one of those games. I'm not sure that we're going to see Jaden Daniels the rest of the year. They're eliminated from the playoffs. He hurt his elbow again. It's going to be Marcus Mariota the rest of the way. It would not surprise me if they went. I mean, they took the Broncos to overtime and damn near won that game. Like, that is still a team that has talent. It has just not materialized a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if they win one of those. But man, they are in some trouble. I think that with them losing again and getting to 5 losses, to me, it pretty much guarantees that the first round bye is going to be in the NFC West.
Yep.
It's either going to be the Rams or Seattle, and I hate to say it, but the Niners are still right there.
Yep.
They're right there at 9-4. They have an easy 3 games before they play us the last week of the season. And Seattle has lost the last week of the season before to San Francisco, cost them the division. Like, it has happened before. San Francisco is right there. So I do think the number 1 seed is going to roll through the NFC West. The Eagles are just going to be fodder for somebody else to collect a playoff win at this point. It's just what it's going to be.
Right.
Couldn't happen to a better fan base, by the way.
And because the North is crazy. Because the North is crazy right now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm definitely going to wait to see how it all shakes out. And the Eagles just they just got issues. And of course, that fan base, they don't want to hear it, because they won the Super Bowl last year. They don't want to hear it. They think they can just turn it on. According to them, they're just going to turn it on. They're just going to turn it on, and Saquon's going to run like he did last year, and Jalen Hurts is going to be throwing the ball, and the defense is going to be perfect, just like they were last year, according to them. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this stream. There are, I'm just looking on YouTube right now. There's some Eagles channels that are very upset right now. We're also live. One of which, shout out to Mr. Duga, who was a guest on the show a few years back. I think it was during the 2023 season, actually. Similar season, who was live for the whole game. So I'll give him props for seeing that thing through in with the end result.
And Jalen, I just want to preface this one thing. The reason why I say the NFC West is going to have the number 1 seed, because I know the North has a lot of really good teams. The Lions, the Bears, and the Packers, all 3 of them, 3 of their last 4 games, they're playing teams with winning records, and
Mhm.
in the they have some of the toughest 4 games coming down the
Mhm.
stretch. All 3 of those teams, and
Yeah.
they play each other, so they're going to rack
Hmm.
up some losses.
Yeah, I agree
So
with that.
feel like
That's true.
I feel like the Rams and the Seahawks and the Niners have a little bit of an easier path. I actually think the Seahawks have the toughest path through the West than even the Rams and the Niners. I think the Rams and the Niners get some cupcakes. I mean, hell, the Niners get a bye and then they play the Titans. That's some bullshit.
And the Raiders, right? Don't they play the Raiders too?
Yeah, I don't know. They play them. Oh, I think they play the Bears. At one point, but I think that's the only other team outside of us that has a winning record.
Mhm.
They're gonna lay up next week, so they're gonna get 10 wins, easily. So that's
Crazy. All right. Well, that is going to do it for this post game reaction. Thanks to the folks that came through. We'll be back Wednesday night for the normal show. So stay tuned to hear our opinion on what, the rest of the stuff that happened this week in the NFL. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you all for watching, listening. Be sure to follow us on social media at AFR Sports on TikTok and Instagram. It's always linked in the description below. If you want to follow June individually, his TikTok is linked down in the description below. We'll see you all on Wednesday, and have a good night. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace.